Welcome to Screening Modern Korea. I know I haven't introduced you to myself properly, but I need to ask you a question. When you hear the words Korean thriller, which movies come to mind? Go. I bet you guessed Squid Game or Parasite. Am I right? These movies were a hit internationally and received a huge amount of love and support from the fans. This was very well deserved for the Korean media industry considering the amazing screen work, social commentary, and engaging storytelling of these films. And just like these amazing thrillers, today I want to talk about the film The Housemaid, or Hanyeon, directed by director Kim Ki-young. Director Kim Ki-young was a South Korean film director known for his psychosexual and melodramatic horror films. He was also highly looked up to by director Bong Joon-ho, who also directed the film Parasite. Now let's get started on why this movie was such a hit. The story starts off with the heartthrob of a teacher that all the female students seem to be in love with. I guess you could say he made the perfect crush. Well, except for the fact that he was married. Also had a loving wife and 2 children. Anyways, the girl on the right sends a love letter to the teacher, but the girl on the left gets accused and expelled instead. Fast forward, she starts taking piano lessons at his house and also finds a maid for him as per requested by the teacher. But the only problem is, the maid was also in love with the teacher. The maid starts seducing the teacher, and then it worked. He cheats on her, and that's where things go down south for the family. The maid gets pregnant, and then the wife found out. She forced her to get an abortion, and she did, except she also blackmailed them. The plot thickens when the maid also kills her son and forces the teacher to continue sleeping with her. In the end, the son, the teacher, and the maid died. Well, except it didn't really end like that. The ending ends with a narrative where the teacher tells the audience to not cheat. So it was an embedded narrative all along for the audience to think. Now, before we move on to analyzing the other aspects of the film, let's take an ad break. Excuse me, what song are you listening to? Okay, back to our daily schedule. Let's talk about why this film won numerous amount of awards. We can do this by addressing the elephant in the room, the housemaid's strong sexual desire that's portrayed in the film. Even director Bong Joon-ho believed this was a unique way of showing femme fatale that only director Kim Ki-young could do. The most obvious scene is when the housemaid is drenched in rain wearing no bra, which during that time, even in the film industry, was a shocking costume. The timing the film came out was under Park Chun-hee's regime, who controlled people's desires. He would measure the lengths of skirt girls were wearing and the length of the hair men styled. Desires and freedom were standardized back then. The timing the film came out was perfect, so to say. Another important factor in this film is the outfits. The wife is portrayed wearing traditional clothes, also known as hanbok, whereas the maid is portrayed wearing more westernized clothes. A perfect example of how Western and Asian cultures were viewed back then. The wife wearing traditional clothes also represented the social dynamic during this era. She was a traditional wife that wanted to maintain the reputation of her family even after she found out her husband cheated. Another symbolism of the social class was also represented by the props, the piano and the stairs, for example. The stair represented the ladder to move to a higher class, which the family was trying to do from an upper middle class, which was represented by the piano. Since back then, poor families wouldn't be able to own a piano, it represented that they were in the upper middle class. The film was a great thriller and it was well ahead of its time. And before we finish off, here is director Bong Joon-ho's favorite scene in the film. And that's it. Thank you for analyzing The Housemaid with me. See you next time!